is Chris Oz from the ODSA, and I'm joined by Jacin Goulard for some coverage of the Final 9 at the 2016 Ontario Women's Disc Golf Championship.
Hey guys!
The top card features Sandy Hendel, Leona Hailema, Lana Kelly, and Jazz Goulard, who's currently leading Sandy by one stroke heading into the final. Alright, let's get to know a little more about who we're watching today.
Hi, I'm Sandy Hendel. My PDGA number is 67835. My go-to disc is a Blizzard Destroyer, and today I'm putting it away because it's windy and bringing out the stable stuff.
Hi, my name's Leona Hailema. My PDGA number is 48673. My go-to disc is my Eagle. I've always loved my Eagles. They just fly for me just so naturally and beautifully. To win today, I'm just going to stick to my game, throw in the fairway, and hopefully get some nice upshots and make my putts and stay out of OB.
Hi, my name's Lana Kelly. My PDGA number is 62254. My go-to disc is my putter, and I'm going to have the most fun.
Hi, I'm Jacin Goulard. My PDG number is 76054. My go-to disc is a Goldline Saint, and I just need to play smart today.
Okay, so we're starting off the Final 9 on hole 1 from the new tee pad, kind of throwing over an OB section of long grass to an elevated basket. So what were you thinking here right off the bat?
Don't go OB. That was my biggest goal. It's right in front of the basket, so you really want to either fade to the left or go past it.
It looks like you faded off to the left a bit there.
Yeah.
Saw the photographer's mirror.
I was happy with that.
And
Sandy throws very similar drive, except on the other side, but she
Yeah.
lands really close to me.
seems like the lefty hyzer kind of plays more naturally to the basket here anyways. Oh. Lana just missed the ace.
Would have been sweet.
And I think Leona aired that one out a little too high and went OB.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
Safely up though.
So if you look at the flag, the wind was pretty brutal out there, so we just laid it up. Sandy and I had the same thought and just played it safe.
Oh, here we go. So Lana's putting for a 2, I think, here.
And she goes a little low.
It's gotta hurt a little. I can't blame her with that win, though.
And we're just going to all tap in.
Oh.
So apparently the bricks are a little loose around that basket.
My first foray into masonry. I'm sure they'll all be better from now on. And there we go. So it looks like everyone took a par except for Leona with that unfortunate OB stroke. So we're headed to hole 2, which is a low ceiling, slight hyzer, 255 feet from the short tee to the yellow basket. Any strategy on this one?
Get through the gap. So I threw it a little bit too far to the right, but it finished really well. So I was happy with that.
Can't argue with a good result. This one plays a little tougher for a lefty.
Yeah, because it goes downhill on the right, so you really don't want to fade too far to that side.
And Sandy plays it extra safe. That'll do. Looks like she got a bit of wind on that. I think that was her Saint. Which is the same disc you threw on this hole?
No, I actually threw my Saint Pro on this hole.
A little more stability.
Yes.
And it looked like it paid off.
Yeah.
And,
I was happy with that result.
a little high from Leona again. She'll sort that out.
She has a great approach shot through all those trees.
It looks like it's fading out just a little too much.
So Sandy turned it over a little bit and ended up in the trees, but she has a good look to get it out.
A little short. She'll have a tester. Speaking of testers, I think Leona's got about 40 feet to the basket still. And I'm sure she'll get up and down from there. Ooh, little tree. Oh, they're up and down. Now, watching this earlier, I noticed looks like you lay up on this shot.
I did lay up. With the wind, I didn't want to take any chances. I knew I could get up and down for an easy 3, and I wanted to play smart, and that was a smart decision for me to do.
I think so. I think you gained a stroke on Sandy on this hole, too.
I did. She took a 4, and I we'll get a tap in 3.
Oh, spoiler alert. Oh, smart golf. Alright. So you took the only par on that hole, surprisingly. Gained a stroke on the field, and you're moving to hole 3, which is a tight hyzer, I guess. You got a tree line on the right here. And the basket's just on the edge of a hill up there on the left.
I went a little high on that drive. Would have liked to have kept it a little lower, but I was pretty happy with it. And went past all those trees in the clear.
This is traditionally one of the harder drives at Bronte, especially with a little bit of headwind like you have here. I think it's across from the right. And,
Yeah, Sandy.
Sandy pulls off a great drive for a lefty there.
That was.
Oh, thanks.
I think from the result, I remember she got kind of a cut roll, I think, up near the basket and would have been parked, but unfortunately rolled back down the hill. Saint's just turning over for her.
That wind was really strong, and it was hard to read sometimes.
Yes, it's around it. Oh. Ah, she's around.
It's a little high. It's really hard to see. She had a great layup.
I'm sure if I edit this properly, you won't be able to hear it, but the wind was really coming in strong just over the hill there. So these upshots were a little tougher than they might appear.
I threw mine a little too hard, and it took a big fade.
There's that wind again.
Sandy just laying up, being smart with this. Lena has a tester headwind.
The hill behind the basket sure doesn't help.
Definitely not. So here I am in no headwind, taking my time, psyching myself out.
Oh, the beauties of disc golf.
A little too much time there. That wind scared me too much. I saw some nasty putts get thrown blown away in the wind earlier, so that was in the back of my mind.
No problem. Leona drops one of 2 pars, I think, on the hole. I think Sandy's layup there was for par, too.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so Sandy got a stroke back on you on this one.
She did.
And you'll be feeling it on the next hole. Good battle for 3rd and 4th right now. Lana's got Leona by 2 right now, heading into hole 4. Kind of similar to hole 2, where you have a low ceiling, tight hyzer to the yellow basket. Oh, not too bad. Was Paul okay there, lying in front of the tee pad? Did he get hit by a disc? Or?
Oh, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
I think he's taking photos. He posted some pretty good ones up after the event. Oof.
Early release on that one.
That's 2 in the bush on the left now.
That makes 3 of us.
Maybe Lana can do it.
Or she can join the bush party.
It's like there's a magnet over there or something. Was that wind a pretty big factor off the tee there, or what?
Yes, it is. It's just really hard. It wasn't super consistent, and just trying to get through the gap. A lot of factors going on. Thank you, Tree, for saving me from that basket.
Yeah, $5 for the rest of the card.
There were a lot of people spectating when I have to pay everyone.
Oh, no. Maybe. Oh, Lana's got a bit of a more straightforward shot here. She doesn't have the bush in the way. Let's see what she can do with it. And textbook up shot. She is pretty smooth, eh?
She is. I love her form. I love watching her play.
Oof.
Leanna gets a bag kicked.
And
Sandy goes a little long. She's in the trees at the back, but she'll still have a good look at it.
she's a Hendel. Count it as in. So were you going for this one?
No, just wanted to lay up.
Stay with the strategy, play it safe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what a great shot.
Got that one on film.
It definitely is on video.
I love that reaction. Sandy's got a bit of a tough lie here, but
Just trying to find some good footing. Get those branches out of her hair.
there we go. Pulls the straddle out.
Nice putt.
And in.
Lana and I just tap it in, I believe, for a bogey.
I think Lana was a par, actually. Yep. There's Sandy, yeah. She caught up to you on that hole.
Yes, she did.
Lana and Leona took the pars. They're quite a bit behind you. It's kind of a two-horse race for first right now. So you have the Rainbow Mando, provided by Sweet Peas and Sarah Jameson here. Looks awesome for the tournament.
So this hole was a little tough because we were going to a different basket than we were going to during our actual rounds. So it was a different one.
Yeah, you guys were going to play to hole 15 for the next hole, so to kind of prevent you from having to walk so far and add another element of... Man, takes a
Just
tree.
a little high.
Another element of difficulty. We put you from the tee pad for 5 to hole 6 basket. And that rainbow rope over there is a mandatory. You have to go under the willow branch and the rainbow.
Triple Mando.
And a little bit of a grip block, and I think Lana missed the Mando. Now, what are you throwing here?
That is a Fusion Truth. So I went high on in the first round.
It looks like you parked the regular basket there.
I did. It went straight, no fade. Why you guys changed the basket, I don't know.
We knew you guys were good for it. So Lana's throwing from the drop zone here. This is her third shot. She's trying to get across the valley.
A little too far to the right, but she's down there.
Let's see what her scramble game has in store. Not too bad for being buried half in a bush. I think she got all the way across there.
So I had all these little branches in my way, as you can see.
We aim to please it, Bronte.
And I went a little high.
Did you clear the valley there?
I cleared the valley. I wanted it to sit, or just to get down.
Yeah. Should be an easy up and down on the par 4.
So Lena has a pretty tough lie right now.
I think she's up there. And so's Leona. Trying to stay out of the creek. Good job.
Yeah, good shot.
Safe to assume it was another layup?
It was.
You live in the strategy.
Layup queen. I know, that was a good bit at the basket.
It looks like Sandy's laying up too. She knows you guys are tied right now, and I don't think she wants to give you anything.
Even these little tap-ins with that wind was kind of scary. And a little high, but lucky it came back down.
Pretty decent size crowd gathered to watch the final line too. I think that's only about half the people watching, and
Yeah, there was a lot of them behind us. Definitely added to a little bit of the nerves and the pressure.
it's a good crowd for a women's event. Enjoyed having those people out there. Okay, so it looks like Lana took a double bogey to even the score up with Leona. You're heading to hole 15 from the new long pad, throwing through the trees out to a basket perched up on the hill. This is another par 4, so you got 2 of them in a row. Takes about 200 feet to clear the underbrush before you're out in the open and have an approach to the basket.
Really had to try and look at the branches out there to see what the wind was, because it wasn't really windy. We were pretty protected on that tee pad. The strategy here, get it in through the gap, past that long grass.
Beautiful. 2 for 2 so far. What are you throwing on this shot?
That is my saint on this one. Wanted to go straight enough.
Pretty safe to assume you threw a Saint or a Saint Pro on most of these holes.
I did. Those were my 2 drivers that I was throwing that day.
Boom.
So we all make it through. I think we're all happy with that.
Those are fantastic. Looks like Lana still has a good 220 feet, I think, to the basket here.
Yeah, with a little bit of elevation at the end.
And it looks like her sink got away from her a bit there.
She just missed her line.
And it looks like she faded out a little short there. You're throwing from just under the tree here?
I was just under the tree, pretty far, so I pulled out my St. Pro,
And
parked it.
great shot.
Definitely a relief to have that shot.
Yeah, you don't want to be putting downhill on that tailwind, that's for sure. And Sandy, I think, comes out a little bit short there, too.
Just at the bottom of the hill.
That wind lifting the disc a bit.
Ooh, good thing it didn't roll.
Yeah, those 20-footers might as well have been 40-footers today with that wind. And shug it up and down. She's tapping in for a par 4 there.
Yeah, that's what she got.
And I think that's Lana's par 2. I have to double check. I think you took the only birdie here.
I did. That
tough.
upshot was just gold. Just like the color of that disc.
And you had... Oh, Lana did take a bogey. Sorry, didn't see that. Take another stroke on Sandy there. So you've got a lead by 1 going into the island, hole 14. You're looking at a 274-foot shot. It's about 260 to make the island. And what did I just watch?
I went a little wide. That's how I threw it in the second round, and I made it on the island, so I just decided to stick with that shot, but it just didn't come back as much. So I missed the island.
Heading to the drop zone. Sandy's got a pretty darn good arm. I think she
She parks it.
puts her destroyer on the island, yeah.
Leanna goes a little high, and that costs a little bit of distance, so she misses the island also.
Oh, man. Did you have a headwind or a tailwind on this hole?
I believe it was a headwind, if I remember correctly.
So Atlanta stabled up a bit too much on that drive.
So we're at the drop zone.
Shot.
Went a little past, closer to the fence area
The logs.
than
yeah.
it looks.
This shot's a whole lot harder than it looks, too. I was watching this during the tournament, and that crosswind really tended to knock down hyzers. I saw quite a few ladies missing their
It's not easy.
tap-in fours, or what should have been tap-in fours here. All right, so this is Sandy for a birdie.
That great drive. She took a skip on the end.
Oof,
A little low.
just low.
So here's Lana for her 4.
Solid.
And she gets it in.
And Leona is looking for her tap in four here as well. Oof.
Just sneaks through the back.
Call that brawny chains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're just going to tap in here?
That's what I'm hoping to do.
Oh,
And that's not what I do. And
No.
as you can see, I'm pretty heartbroken.
oh, Ken Little would be proud. Speaking of Ken Little, he donated about 60 discs for CTPs for all the ladies at the tournament, and can't thank that guy enough.
That was awesome.
Great guy. So, it looks like Sandy took a lead
She
on that
did.
hole. Jesus. Double bogey? 5? Not what
Double
you were
bogey
expecting.
5.
We're heading to an altered hole 17, where you throw over the valley from the long tee to a shorter pin position.
It's just on the right over that valley.
Looks like Sandy's throwing her glow buzz.
I think she throws it a little bit too hard and it goes a little long.
I think the wind caught it and took it quite a bit to the right. She's going to have a tough putt with the bush in the way there. The basket's just to the right of Andrew Leyland, filming on the
Oh.
second camera up there.
And it's a little bit elevated.
What are you throwing here? Your judge?
I'm throwing a judge.
And parked.
Got the turn I wanted.
I.
Oh.
She hit the tree. Nice recovery, though. I think it's laying up behind the bush, though. Just laying up for a three.
Great idea behind those
I
trees.
think Sandy's in kind of a similar position here. That branch comes out a whole lot further than it looks like from this camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
She's just looking to get up and down. She's got
Definitely trying to lean out to get a good look.
one stroke on you going into this hole and doesn't want to lose more than that. Good run. Leona to save par.
That was a great recovery from that drive.
Leona seemed to have the least amount of trouble with the wind. She was hitting some longer putts today.
Yeah, she definitely had it dialed in. A little bit of a headwind. I just wanted to get it high enough to get it in.
No problem.
And I did.
No problem.
Definitely did not want to make the mistake I made on the previous hole.
So that ties you and Sandy.
We were tied going into the last hole of the final 9.
Can you say pressure?
Definite pressure, excitement, nerves, everything was going on.
There we go. And fittingly, the final 9, the last hole, is hole 18 at Bronte Creek. You got that tight gap off the tee. 252 feet to the basket with another small pine in the way. Just short. And
So I threw a Saint that was a little bit more beaten to try and get a little bit of the turn before I faded, which I did. So I was pretty happy with that shot.
Sandy to match you. And no.
So she didn't get the turn she wanted on that.
Her heart's got to sink a bit there on
the
that
first
shot.
pine tree. Lana has a great drive. It's not an easy throw.
No, not at all.
It's a tight gap. You really don't want to get into any trouble in those trees.
I think Lana and Leona are tied going into this hole as well.
Yes, it was a good race for a third also.
Looks like Leona just cleared the trees there too. So I think Sandy at this point knew that it was either get the 3 or...
This is the rare time you're going to see Sandy throw a forehand.
I've been playing with her recently too. She's been working on that shot quite a bit. I think she's dialing it in.
It's a good shot to have.
Oh yeah. She's made a ton of progress this year.
Well, Leona lays up for
A little bit deep.
get a 3.
No good thing she didn't hit a tree. Sandy's laying up for a bogey 4. Little patent pending layup from an E. Look good. And keeping with the strategy of playing it safe, you...
Elevated basket. Do I want to risk it? No. Just going to lay up for an easy tap in 3.
Yeah, you gotta respect that. No.
So Leona goes a little high.
Ooh. Looks like she'll take 4th with that bogey. I think Sandy knew it didn't really matter.
Just a little low. It was not easy. It's not an easy putt.
Keeping with the tradition of hitting long putts, Leona sinks her bogey, I think. Yeah. And I'm sure you're walking up now,
I started walking up.
knowing tap in, you win the 2016 Ontario Women's Disc Golf Championship. Your caddy's looking over, filming you.
What a relief that was. It was a long day and hard battle at the end, so it was a great feeling to get that in.
Absolutely. Congrats, Jess.
Thanks. This is a great group of ladies to play with. Definitely fun card and learn a lot from them and definitely build friendships when you're playing, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Who knew we had such talented athletes in Ontario? Female athletes. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for joining me, Jazz.
Thanks for having me.
And look for more coverage of 2017 tournaments coming up and the 2017 Ontario Women's Disc Golf Championship. Thanks guys.